The views and opinions expressed on the Craig L. Hayes Show do not necessarily reflect those of Westgate Resorts, management, or ownership. And now, on with the show. All right, we're back here. We're with Talbot Snow we're on another episode.
Your favorite guest.
My favorite guest. I think you've got more than anybody else right now. I think you're up to, I can't even count now. Whole bunch. I think we've done 11 with you. This is number 12.
I'm so special.
In so many ways. Today is the 4th of February of 2025. And we are in Elvis Presley's dressing room here at the Westgate Resort in Las Vegas. And continue on about some of the cuts off the album and show business in general and just anything else we decided we want to talk about. And so we're going to play a song. The problem is I don't remember which one it is here.
From our Contrary to Popular Belief CD.
Yeah. I think this is the button. I can't read the tiny writing on the thing, but let's see. No.
There it is.
Got it.
All right, we're ready for our Sunday school lesson now.
Yes. A very uplifting spiritual song about
Reading the scripture.
reading the scriptures. That's what it was all about. That was
funny.
from Sax, and actually the group started off with, well, it was two-tone at one time, right? And then
I think so, yeah.
it just dropped and turned into Sax, and
It was Joey and
Mike Fatone, and
Tone, yeah.
yeah, they did a great job on that one. It was a little bit different. We hadn't done something like that before, but yeah, I enjoyed that one.
They were in their R&B, slash pop mode in a pretty major way at that time. This is what, 90s that we were doing these things.
Yeah, 91, 2, 3, somewhere in there. Yeah.
And yeah, they were part of the general HSP family of the ring of people that we had around us in the studio, and they sang. Both of them, I think, sang on other bits and pieces here and there.
Yeah, they did backups on several songs, as I remember. So,
And then I'm trying to remember who the females were in that song.
well, one was Coral Penny, wasn't it? Did she do that one, or no? She did.
Might have been, or and or Danny, and or her sister, Danny's sister,
Oh,
Jan.
okay. I remember Coral was there doing some stuff
Yeah.
on one of. She was part on one of those songs. We had so many people involved in this thing.
We would just, as we were working on songs, whoever was coming in and out of our circle at the time, we'd say, "Hey, you want to jump in on the,
Yeah.
on this song?"
Which is kind of like what I'm doing now in my song. I'm like, hey, you want to do some backups? And people are like, well, maybe. And I'm like, yeah, just come on. You don't have to be a great singer. Just hop in, man. Do it.
And what we did was we took, there obviously were some artists, singers, and so on, rappers that were more, shall we say, developed than others. And there were some people who were not professionals at all, who just happened to be friends or family members or whatever. But we coached them and coaxed them
Threatened them. Yeah.
into the studio and had them try a few different things. Like when it came to vocal riffs, we would, record, re-record until we got just the right riff from somebody, whoever it was.
Yeah.
And we'd keep that part. And so that person would be, featured maybe once or twice for a few seconds in the song. I heard myself in the background. I'm saying, "Go for what you know." That was me, sampled. And they just triggered. We that's another thing we started doing too. We started as that album developed, we realized that we could save some time, money, and effort by
Who was that one?
it's can I answer that or no?
Who is it?
My wife.
Oh, I should. Yeah, go do what you got to do. I'm going to put this on pause and we'll be right back. When wives call, we answer. Okay, we're back. When wives call, we answer the phone.
Sorry, I didn't mean to mess you up.
No, you didn't. No. In our younger days, we'd tell them, "Hey, leave us alone. We're busy." We've gotten older. We realize, no, we better not do that. So.
So on this song, as the album was developing, we realized we could save some time. I don't want to say cut corners necessarily, but by sampling, something that was repetitive, like a hook of a song or whatever,
Yep.
rather than have the person.
Track it out all the way through over and over and over. Yeah, because that becomes mundane, tedious, and time consuming.
Yes. And so we would do a combination of things, though. We wouldn't just use the sample only, but if there was a repetitious part, we would stick that in the various, parts of the different choruses or hooks of the song. But then also we would still have ad-libs and freestyle stuff on top of that so that it wasn't completely repetitious. So there was still variation from chorus to chorus. But with the bed of the hook, if you will, repeating and other things, variety-oriented things happening on top. And we did that. You could definitely hear that in Go For What You Know. I always thought it was interesting. They said, "Go for what you know, go for what you know," as in the opposite to yes.
Yeah.
Which is meant to be, I think, KNOW. But hey, you know, it's hip hop. Who cares?
Yeah, but if you say G-O for what you can, or W, it doesn't work, you know. So,
Right.
so and O, it's like it's a play on words, and music you can do that, and it's fun to do that and make people take an ear like they're not spelling that right.
Yes. Another person that was involved was DVS1 or Daryl Hilliard. Remember him? He was um, he was in that song too. His flavor was in there. He was a or is, I think, still a music producer, keyboard
Hmm.
guy, and
Can't place his name with a face right now.
yeah,
It's only been 30 plus years.
he went by DVS1,
Hmm.
and but his real name's Daryl. Actually, I'm still connected with him on Facebook. And I've seen Mike Vitone once in a blue moon as well, mostly via Facebook. Um, and Joe Evans too, right? I think that was his last
Joey
name.
Evans, yep.
He, in fact, I ran into him at Smith's.
He actually is like a manager or something.
Yeah.
That's what his. Well, I don't know if he still is, but
Yeah, I
years
saw him like
back.
a few months ago. He was still
Still
there.
doing it. He's staying with it. Yeah, that's good. That's a good career path there, and it's good retirement, all kinds of stuff there. So
Yeah. So, and then, like I say, the different gals that might have been involved, females. You say Coral Penny.
I only say her because she was around quite a bit. We're going to do a song I think that she was instrumental in putting together with you.
Yeah.
In a little bit here.
And Deneen and Jan.
Yeah.
We use them for various female, inserting female vocals here and there, kind of thing. So it was very cool. It was like a family affair in that way, and it gave us a lot of variety, so that you and I, as the main producers of this thing, didn't sound the same
Yeah.
from one song to the next. It's a huge variety on this album. And you can see that partly because we integrated all these different flavors.
Yeah. Different people, different, and they all had different things to throw into it. And that's what made the project so much, so interesting because there is so many different genres and styles and on that album.
Yep.
It's not like, oh, this is a pure rock album. No, it's so much more.
And it's funny because as I'm listening, like I said, you've kind of reawakened some memories in my head, not making me, but as we're listening to these songs on the headphones in sort of in detail, I'm sitting there analyzing, like, wow, we did this, we did that, we did this, we did that, and I see now so many of the songs, projects that I'm involved with now in my studio with clients and some of my own stuff still integrates this same approach, of everything in the kitchen sink
Mm-hmm.
thrown in there,
But it sounds simple, but if you really listen deep, there's all kinds of stuff going on all over the place.
Yeah.
It's that layered thing that I kind of like throwing in there, and by use of doing things through the reverb and just being careful with the slapbacks and all these things, I could create this whole almost like it's a 3D image coming at you,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we did a lot with what we had.
boy, did we! And we didn't have a lot. That's the crazy thing about it is, and
Well, I remember when we took this thing up to LA to get mastered, right? They were pretty surprised what we'd put together.
yeah, they thought we walked in there, from our little garage studio in Las Vegas
Mm-hmm.
with that DAT, and they put it on there, and all of a sudden it went to like, whoa. We weren't expecting this type of a thing,
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, indeed. It was good stuff, man. So, I fast forward to now after listening to that, and I still have, you think about the Zodiac Dragon project I was involved with, or some of the songs I do now, it still has that approach of, involve lots of people, get different flavors, different genres.
Well, to speak of that, look what you and I are doing now on my
Yeah,
project.
yeah, exactly.
It's this thing has gone from, oh, this shouldn't be too bad, and now it's like we've got people from all over the world and the country throwing in on this thing.
Yep,
it's it's
it's very cool.
it's a cool project. It's just, and that's the thing. I saw it a certain way in my head, and then when you and I start talking, and that's the cool thing about you and I see it a certain way, and all of a sudden it's like, well, how about? And I go, ooh, that's even better. How about, and we could also do this, and let's go, and then you can do, and how about if we throw this in?
Yep.
And pretty soon it's like, what are we creating here? This thing is going.
Well, to me, that's something that is almost missing, I think, in a lot of, I don't know, a lot of projects and studios. As I've interacted with different people here and there, not that I've interacted with, well, I probably have interacted with thousands of people, right, over the years,
Oh yeah,
easily. And I've noticed, in our world of creativity, you would think that the general rule of thumb is anything goes kind of thing. We're supposed to be here to create. And, the sky's the limit, or not even the sky. There is no limit. But yet, interestingly, I've found people here and there who are very seemingly almost closed-minded. Like, no, I don't want to do that. No, that's too weird, or that's too risque, or that's too this, or that's too that, or that's not the way it's done. Like the establishment.
yeah.
There aren't always a lot of people out there who want to, necessarily break the mold or break the rules, etc. They feel more safe, staying within a certain box. And you can't blame them. I mean, if you're going to follow someone, they might be following the path of a certain artist or a certain producer or a certain way things that are done, which is, fine. I guess you're more safe in that way.
And that's the word, safe.
But you don't come up with, I don't think, the really new and fresh and interesting stuff with that approach. You are, in fact, just, going along a path that someone else has already done. So, and that's not, too interesting to me. I like to try and go to new areas.
Yeah, I mean, should Pink Floyd have stayed safe, or should they have tried Dark Side of the Moon?
Right. Exactly. You think about, and that's one other point too. Like, not only in terms of experimentation and exploration, but also taking the time to try this and try that. Trial and error. Literally throwing paint up on the canvas and seeing what sticks and what doesn't.
Yeah.
It's it's a bit more of a slightly chaotic, spontaneous approach, but
And it can be time consuming, and it can be, and you can spend a lot of time on it and go, it's just not working. I had it in my head, and then you've wasted time, resources, whatever you want to call it. So it is taking a chance.
yeah.
But the luxury is, I think you and I have been doing this long enough on some of these projects, especially working on my stuff when you're helping me on mine. We kind of know what's going to work,
Yep.
Because before we really start diving into it, we have that conversation, and you'll say, hey, I think I could really see a such and such here. And I'll go, oh, okay, yeah, I can see that too. Let's just try it. And it turns like it's supposed to.
Yep.
So you and I are in sync on so many things when we get into this stuff. It's not even funny.
Well, I like it too when you have that thing where in the creative process, when you're throwing things up on the canvas and suddenly you do see or hear something like, dang, that's cool, right? You say,
Excuse me.
can you not do your cocaine habit right now, please?
Yeah, I'm going to try not to. Holy.
Craig's just over here dying. Nothing to worry about, folks.
Yeah, drowning. Haven't learned how to drink yet.
So yeah, you know what I mean. Like, just have the ability to, like, you suddenly you hear it and you go, you know, and suddenly you get the goosebumps, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you go, that's it. That's the thing.
That's what it is. Yep.
And you know that I don't think a lot of people do a lot of that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I wonder, you know, how many people actually take the time to trial and error, explore, you know, push the envelope, try new things, even slightly or even very bizarre. I mean, you listen to this album, you know, we have everything from explosions to toilet flushing to whatever. You know, interesting sounds that pop up here and there.
Excuse me.
In between songs and during songs. And
Yeah. Well, a track dedicated to a toilet flushing. Who else does that? Come on. You know.
yeah. And by the way, that's another thing I still do to this day. In fact, we did it with yours. You have sound effects in your latest hand jive song production. You know, we got
Cars racing. We got the Hucka.
yes. How fun, you know?
Yeah.
It's audio bliss.
And I hadn't planned on doing part of that, you know, but then all of a sudden we just started, you know, when we're calling out the dance numbers, and it's like, oh, let's find something that goes with that.
Yeah.
Hey, moonwalk. Hey,
We got Chubby Checker.
Chubby Checker, you know, when it says do the twist, and we got Chubby Checker saying, do the, come on, babies, do the twist, you know.
I really want to put in moo when you talk about cows and chickens.
Oh, okay. At the beginning of it, milk the cow and. Yeah, maybe we can find something. Who knows? You know, I am not opposed. No, that's the thing. Dealing with all this stuff, even this album, this song called "Go for What You Know" with sax. It just it grows, it develops. I would guarantee you that it's not quite exactly what they heard in their head when they started coming up with it, but it ended up being exactly what they loved when it was done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I've seen that a million times.
Oh yeah.
In the studio, even with my clients. Like, you know, I start doing something, and they're looking at me like, "What the blazes are you doing?" You know, like I said, No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I said, just be quiet.
Just play along for just a minute.
Just calm down.
Give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Let me finish the idea here. And yeah, 99% of the time they end up loving this what was in their head a crazy idea, ends up being fun and interesting and woven into the song.
Yeah. Music, man. That's you can do stuff with music you can't do anything any other medium.
Yes, you can bring people together. I love that. Can I tell you a story about that?
Yeah, do it.
Once upon a time, well, actually, several times, actually, hundreds of times, I've DJ'd, in some cases, some very large crowds, like thousands of people, right? And it made me feel like a rock star for 5 minutes. And I was, of course, I start playing somewhere during the set, start playing these line dances, like the wobble or the Cupid shuffle or whatever. And it's so neat. Okay, I remember in this one particular situation where I saw thousands of people, because the song says, stomp 3 times, 1, 2, 3, clap 3 times, 1, 2, 3, now move to the left, 1, 2, move to the right, 1, 2. And to see this huge audience moving in mass, in unison, like that, black, white, old, young, for me, it was like a spiritual moment. I had a tear.
Yeah.
Not to sound corny, but I thought, this is so neat. All these people who don't even know each other, for this moment, they're in unison, marching,
And they're having fun.
having fun.
Yeah.
And it's simple, it's very simple choreography in these songs, so any 3-year-old can do it. But it's so neat to see that many people. And that's what you just said about music. Music brings people together. It's the unison thing,
Yep.
what we did with HSP. All these different people, because everyone's interested in music. Everyone's curious about how do you put music together. They hear stuff on the radio, or they buy, a CD, or they download, or they stream, or whatever. And most people do wonder, gee, I wonder how they put that thing together. They think about it for a moment. They don't necessarily know, but they think about it. And they see glimpses on, in movies here and there, and documentaries where you see people in recording studios and whatnot. But they still don't know, the more intricate, detailed process. And so we attracted people for that reason, too. They were interested in the process and see how things come together. And the magic of knowing, like everyone who's on that CD is proud of, I think, of what they did.
Oh, yeah.
I hope.
Well, I'm positive they are. Because they listen to it and they go, wow, I did a pretty good job. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah. And for some of them, who were not in the business much or hardly at all, it was their one time, of being involved with a professional project. And then others who were more skilled and developed in their artistry and their career, same thing. They get to be involved or featured as an artist, or a singer or a rapper, etc. So that's a excuse me, neat thing.
Yeah, because didn't you have the couple different rappers would pop in, and they'd just hang out for a bit and listen to a couple of songs, and they would like, hey, we can come up with a little rap part right there.
Yes.
Well, come up with something then,
Right.
and we'll throw it in if it works.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good times, man. And I know in the CD we have, I think, most of those people listed in the credits, and even their photos
Yeah,
are in there.
tried to get everybody in there, and Dash is a good example. One time, well, does that high screaming thing that he did. Boom, that's it.
Yeah.
He walked by and said, I could do this. Woo! Oh, okay, put it in. There it is. Done.
It was funny, yeah, because on that, we actually were trying out. Remember Deborah Bonner?
Yeah.
She was a black, phenomenal female singer and vocal coach.
Seth Riggs.
Yep, a Seth Riggs protege, I guess.
Where do they go? Yeah. So.
And she was actually going to try, or I think she did try, a couple things here and there. But they weren't quite right. They weren't quite working out. And I met her, I think, through Dash, I believe.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So then he came along, and I'd never heard him do anything like that crazy good belt thing he did. And he did it. And it's sort of like he became because I envisioned, a black female belting voice like the kind they have in you mentioned Pink Floyd. I envisioned that for that song, which is why I asked Deborah Bonner. And then her parts didn't end up, matching quite right.
Because sometimes it just doesn't blend in like it needs to,
Yeah, she wasn't really getting the part. Not that she's a bad singer; she's a great singer.
She's phenomenal, yeah. But it doesn't matter. You couldn't really go and ask Pavarotti to do that either.
Yeah.
Or just any opera singer would. Maybe they could do it. I don't know. But anyways, we're gonna stop here at the end of this episode. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show. I am Craig L. Hayes here with Talbot Snow, and we're going to move on to episode 2, episode 13.
Woo!
in just a moment here once we pick out the next song, and we'll be right back.
Yahoo! Have you?
These always go quick with you.